Hi, it's Bill from HistoryHighlights.com. I'm wishing you a wonderful July the 21st. For our tidbit of history for today, let's go to the Library of Congress and do a little feature on the first Battle of Bull Run, because it was on this day, July the 21st of 1861. It was a dry summer Sunday. Union and Confederate troops clashed outside Manassas, Virginia, in the first major engagement of the Civil War, known as the First Battle of Bull Run. Union General Irvin McDowell hoped to march his men across a small stream called Bull Run in the vicinity of Manassas, Virginia, which was well guarded by a force of Confederates under General P.G.T. Beauregard. McDowell needed to find a way across the stream and through the Southern line that stretched for over 6 miles along the banks of Bull Run. McDowell launched a small diversionary attack at the Stone Bridge while marching the bulk of his force north around the Confederates' left flank. The march was slow, but McDowell's army crossed the stream near Sudley Church and began to march south behind the Confederate line. Some of Beauregard's troops, recognizing that the attack at Stone Bridge was just a diversion, fell back just in time to meet McDowell's oncoming force. When Beauregard learned of the attack, he sent reinforcements to aid the small group of Southerners, but they were unable to hold back the oncoming tide of Union troops. As more Union soldiers joined the fray, the Southerners were slowly pushed back past the stone house and up Henry Hill. Well, the battle raged for several hours around the home of Mrs. Judith Henry on the top of Henry Hill, with each side taking control of the hill more than once. Slowly, more and more Southern men poured onto the field to support the Confederate defense, and Beauregard's men pushed the Northerners back. At this point in the battle, Confederate General Bernard Bee attempted to rally his weary men by pointing to Brigadier General Thomas Jackson, who proudly stood his ground in the face of the Union assault. Bee cried, "There stands Jackson like a stone wall." From that moment on, Thomas Jackson was known as Stonewall Jackson. As the day wore on, the strength of McDowell's troops was sapped by the continuous arrival of fresh Southern reinforcements. Eventually, the stubborn Confederates proved more than a match for McDowell's men, and the Northerners began to retreat across Bull Run. The Union pullout began as an orderly movement. However, when the bridge over Cub Run was destroyed, cutting off the major route of retreat, it degenerated into a rout. The narrow roads and fords, clogged by the many carts, wagons, and buggies full of people who had driven out from Washington, D.C. to see the spectacle, hampered the withdrawal of the Union Army. The Southerners tried to launch a pursuit, but were too tired and disorganized from the day's fighting to be effective. The morning of July 22nd found most of the soldiers of the Union Army on their way back to Washington or already there. It was more than a year before the Northerners attempted once again to cross the small stream outside of Manassas named Bull Run. If you are interested in Civil War history, I will give a recommendation at HistoryHighlights.com. We've got an ebook, paperback book, audiobook, video presentation about the Civil War's Anaconda Plan, the strategy that the Union used to win the war. Major part of the story. I think you'll be fascinated by that. All that you can read, listen to, or watch in about an hour. Come on over to HistoryHighlights.com and check out all of our offerings. And most of all, have a wonderful day. I'll talk to you soon.